we hear and see subliminally goes in and becomes a part of us. I worry about the kids of today who have these violent video games. We used to have broadcast standards at NBC when my husband and I used to work there in the 80s and 90s, and the FCC would not ever allow anything like what goes on the airwaves today. Well, we seem to have lost our way along the moral pathway, I think, and we're going to dig in tonight and see if we can't come up with some answers and solutions, things we can do, even just a little bit, here locally, out there listening. It all adds up. So I want to welcome my guest, Candace McCoy. Hi, Candy.
Hi. Hi.
What?
Thank you.
The real McCoy. That's right.
I am the real McCoy, right?
Candy.
We used to always fight with those Hatfields, but we learned to get along, you know?
And now it's all about meditation.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get along easily, because you know how to get along. And you teach people that through your yoga. You're a certified 200 Yoga Alliance instructor, an educator, and PhD candidate. And you founded a nonprofit called the Healing House.
I did. And
come closer to the
okay.
microphone. Thanks.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on
Absolutely.
tonight. We created a nonprofit called the Healing House, and the goal is just to help people find that their authentic self, like happiness, and also health as well. I think we all know today people are under stress. Maybe your child's under stress. Maybe your teen is, or
bullying.
Our relatives.
Bullying.
Yes.
This is a topic that has so many heads, or it's a spider. With so many.
It is.
It's a spider. It's really a creepy crawler. Because of the school shootings, mental health has been brought out as one of the issues. We know that gun laws probably need to get revised.
They do.
We do want to protect ourselves and have the right to own a gun, but our forefathers never meant for us to have machine guns.
Absolutely
weapons
not.
of war,
Absolutely not.
Weapons of mass destruction. But mental health is something that has not been talked about in our country. It's been taboo.
No, and also in the school system, we've always looked at the cognitive side of skills, and what a different strategy can we use in the classroom, or if we try this method or this graphic organizer. But it's time to look at the whole child, to look at the emotional side as well.
Mm-hmm. Because, you have different levels of mental acuity.
Mm-hmm.
Even though somebody's 8 years old, one is going to develop faster than the other, and that's all about birthdays, and when you put your child in school too. But it is about the intellect, but it's also about the emotional. And we hope that at home they're getting a good basis of love.
Absolutely.
Because I think love makes the world go round. As we heard the minister in the royal wedding, he said love 68 times. Love. Love is what it's all about.
Well, I think we want to go back to what your mom used to say. Can you tell everybody what your mom used to tell you?
You are what you eat.
You are what
you eat. And you are what you think.
Okay.
And that's the graphic that I lifted from you,
right.
Is that our state of mind is, our state of being.
Yeah. So no matter who you are, what age you are, the goal of the Healing House is to teach self-regulated strategies.
Okay.
So that you're going to encounter tonight, we might leave here and you're going to encounter stress. But what are you going to do about it?
Yes.
So to be emotionally prepared. And we want to teach children and teens how to handle this, whether it's test anxiety, whether it's a death in the family, whether it's, like your mom, that was stressful, but learning how to deal with that. We could worry or we could be positive and send the vibration. So the energy we're putting out to our cells, not only are we putting out to the universe, but we're putting it into our cells. And that's another thing that I want to talk about is the biology aspect of it.
Right.
Your cells are listening to everything you say, whether you're saying it with your words out loud, what we're speaking,
that's right.
or whether I'm thinking to myself, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to make enough money. Whatever you repeat to yourself.
The negative monkey mind, I call it. The little monkeys chattering in the trees up there. And you do have to tell yourself positive reinforcement. And we talk about that in all kinds of events and classes and lectures I've been in, is the reinforcement of what do they call it when it's a mantra or,
the mantra. Yeah, just repeating the repetition of it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think, so what I think that's important, though, is we have all these different things going on. The mantras, changing every day. We have 50 to 70,000 thoughts that we think a day.
Wow.
So our mind is just
Right.
But it's the self-discipline. It's sticking with one of those, whether it's an intention or a mantra that you want to repeat.
Prayer.
And prayer. Prayer and doing it daily. I think that's the biggest thing is people are, when we started a diet, let's just go with the food-wise. We're
Right.
we're on it, that first 3 days, I'm going to eat. It's for me. I need it. And then fourth day, that Oreo cookie comes by and I'm like at 11 o'clock at night and I'm thinking I'm going to have not one, but maybe the whole
right, right.
container.
I know.
So it's really
one Oreo. You can't eat just one Oreo.
But it's just going with consistency. You have to.
Right.
That goes into training your cells and neuroplasticity. So, I love the idea of what your mom said. You are what you think. So we have to really be self-disciplined on the things that we have to be mindful of what we're saying to our within our thoughts, and then we have to train ourselves to think a new path. And when you do that, basically you have 100 billion neurons in your brain. Okay, and that's neuroplasticity.
That's a lot.
Yeah, have you ever seen neuroplasticity? They talk about it with strokes. How
Okay.
people can you can retrain your brain, retrain those patterns. Dr. Joe Dispenza, his back was completely, he had to have surgery, and spine surgery is really serious,
Right,
because
right.
you always have the chance of being paralyzed for the rest of your life, right? I mean, we
yeah.
know, and sometimes it's not necessarily paralyzed, but you can come out worse than you went in. I have friends that actually came, and your heart goes out to them. But he passed on surgery, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he laid in his bed, and he started to retrain his brain, and he did it through neuroplasticity. He kept thinking, I am healthy.
Right.
And he
You
visualized
don't say I am
it.
going to be healthy. You say I am healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there's
And like the Olympians and sports athletes, they envision winning. They do the whole course in their mind, the ski slalom, whatever it is, the gymnastics routine, and I do that when I'm going to a listing appointment or an audition when I was an actress.
Yeah.
You see yourself having the part, being the part. You walk in, you're it, you
Right.
know? Why would you go with anybody else?
No, you have to
I'm the
visualize.
best.
You have to believe it. You are the best.
Yeah.
You have to go in and believe it. I truly believe
Yeah.
that. I
And
mean,
what
I
are
don't
some-
believe it. It's actually science. Whatever I say, I'm not just saying, this is not Candy McCoy saying. Everything is research.
It's proven.
It is
true.
proven.
Right.
It is. I
And
would love to say that maybe someday I'll have something like that.
And some of the ways that you teach people to do that is just positive reinforcement and telling them to concentrate or meditate or use prayer,
Yeah.
and quiet the mind, and
I-
take time out during the day for a little mental wellness check, a little 15 minutes. If we can take
15.
a walk.
I'll take 2 minutes. If you could give me
Right.
2 minutes a day, if you get in the morning, you do 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I have a group right now. We're trying to do 1 minute for 5 minutes a day.
Here. Yeah.
All right,
This
right,
side.
right here.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Tuck it back there.
We're
Yes.
we're trying to do just like in the morning they do a 1 minute breath.
Still there. Yeah, use it as a bando. There you
There
go.
we
That's
go. There
better.
we go. Okay, better.
Pretty good.
So
Yeah.
better or
Wild.
still looking
It's wild.
good?
It's good. It's all right.
Wild. But anyhow,
Candy's got a piece of hair that wants to be a cow lick.
so it's all about really being intentional and using the breath. So, would you do a breath, just a minute, everybody, with me right now, if you're watching? You want to?
Yes,
Okay.
let's do it.
So just see
Everybody
how
out
you feel.
there, watch
Yeah.
and see what Candy's
Take a
doing.
moment.
And listen on the radio.
Yeah,
Tell us what we're
listen.
going to do, Candy.
So I'm just going to go ahead and bring your heart and your mind and your body into coherence, into balance. Coherence is balance. And when you do your breath, you think about we're breathing all the time, but you may not be actually consciously breathing, being mindful of it. So I'm going to take you into a mindful, just a 30
and that's what
seconds.
yoga does. And the first time I ever took a yoga class, and they said, listen to your breathing. I said, say what? I what do you mean? And so it is learning a different path, of a language. And yoga is so good for us. It really is.
Oh, there's so many aspects of it, but if you want to, let me
Okay.
do the breath.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so go ahead and just if you're laying in bed or sitting there, ground your feet with the earth.
Okay, and
Everybody
put
feel
my
the
feet
earth,
on the
or you feel
ground.
the back
Yep,
with your
yep.
chair against the earth, and pull your spine long if you can. Maybe shoulder blades back, but comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, And then close your eyes, and let's just you're going to inhale in through your nose. So go ahead, take a nice inhale in. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I want you to hold it for 1, 2. And then I want you to exhale out any stress you have as you exhale out for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to do that again, just one more time. All right, nice little inhale in through your nose, everyone. And I want you just to think of a calm place, hold it in, and then exhale out any stress or tension that you have in your body. Okay?
I do that at night to go to sleep.
Beautiful.
I learned that a long time ago.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you a secret.
I love secrets.
Okay. I say a word that calms me down. I say, Mama.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mama.
Yeah.
And it does. And sometimes I slip in Melania. I think she's so pretty.
Yeah.
I just think she's beautiful, our first lady.
Yeah.
So I do say that, and I interchange them. And by the time I can concentrate on one or the other, I forget who I'm talking about, and I go right to sleep.
That's beautiful, because they always say go to bed with a grateful heart and wake up with a grateful heart. So no matter what type of day you have, if your day is incredibly stressful and you just want to close your eyes and go to bed, try to think of something positive, maybe just your breath or the soft pillow you're laying on, or that you even have a bed to sleep in.
Yes, yes. Being grateful is part of this mental wellness. Oprah started this. Remember, she said keep your gratitude chart or your like a diary, and think. And other people say it too. Wake up and think of 10 things. They don't have to be big things, but just like you said, I'm glad I can wake up. Number one.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. I woke up.
Ahead of the game already.
I'm headed, you know, yeah. And I'm grateful that I have a beautiful house to live in. I'm grateful that I have food to eat. I'm grateful that my husband provides for me. And I'm grateful that he's here with me once a week to do this show.
He is so sweet.
He is so sweet. Richard, I love you. And I like to tell him I love him. And then I wait for him to say it back to me. But we have so much around us. And that's what I started out with. We have so much going for us in America. And we need to appreciate that, because the people who are making the crazy noise out there, you know, quiet your mind. Look around at what you have. It's beautiful. We're free to be able to say those things, whatever we want to say. And we're coming up on Memorial Day, and I think we really need to be grateful to our men and women, our veterans. I want to thank Lynn Jensen again. Sorry to break off here.
No problem.
But a veteran who was here last week, I forgot to do this last week and the beginning of the show. I was going to do this. Windows, Memorials, and More. That's the book that Joyce Fletcher Menard has written, all about the All Saints Episcopal Church in Jensen Beach, Florida. And it is a wonderful, beautiful pictorial book with all the families and all these stained glass windows and the heritage of Jensen Beach in Martin County. And, she lives in Jensen Beach, and she attended All Saints Episcopal Church from the age of 2 until 1977. And she was in the U.S., in Germany, in her role as a major in the Medical Service Corps in the U.S. Army, and she's retired. So thank you, Joyce, for your service and for this beautiful book. Probably you could go up to the Episcopal Church and get it, or just text me and I'll find out where you can get it. I forgot to ask Joyce last week. But thank you, Joyce, for bringing this and being a part of our show lore here, the folklore of the show, because this is what the Martin County Difference is all about. People doing cool things and good things for our community.
It's a beautiful book, and I love the history.
Right, the history. It shows
yeah.
the then and now, and how, and it's been moved. The churches. So anyway,
yeah.
Back to Candy.
All right. Well, I love veterans, and I'm so excited about Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Just a great holiday to
It is,
celebrate.
and the laying of the wreaths at our Memorial Park for all the different groups that come there, and it is very tearful. And I did go. It was either, I think, last year or the year before, and it's so meaningful, and it's quite the festive super little town that we are. Big parade, you know. So I encourage you to go. I know a lot of people already do. And the other thing I want to say is, I know I'm not the only one who wants to do good. Everybody out there is doing good. You know, the flowers from the royal wedding, they sent them to a hospice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
that's
is
pretty
wonderful.
cool.
We actually did that with the Healing House.
Oh,
so
you did.
know, if you're getting married around here and you want to donate your flowers, we brought them to hospice. We did that already once, so it was really great.
Very nice.
Great, and so it was a wonderful experience, and they just loved it. I mean, we were able to bring it to a couple nursing homes too.
And one thing I want to make sure we mention is if you have a Facebook page, right?
Yeah,
Tell
we
everybody.
do. Oh, yeah, the Healing House has a Facebook page.
So go there and like it.
Yeah, go there and like it, and come to some of our events.
And where are you?
We are located in downtown Stuart. It's called the Dirty Hippie, which is behind Kilwin. Everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, Candy, what a name for that!" But it's actually, there's a beautiful little loft up there, and I just thank Ron and Danny Hart so much for letting me rent its studio. So just amazing.
It's in downtown
people.
Stuart.
Yeah, downtown Stuart.
Right on Seminole Street.
Yes. Well,
30?
it's actually it's
Is
on
it?
Seminole Street. It's behind Kilwin. So if
We know
everybody
where
knows
that is.
Who doesn't know what Kilwins is if you live in Stuart? So.
But we have to stay away from ice cream. We don't know stenosis of the heart.
But, another thing I wanted to talk about is, so if if you're encountering stress, or your children are, and you need some self-regulating strategies, that's the Healing House. We're here to help you. And I've been doing like personalized meditations for people, So, for example, even for, like test anxiety, losing weight, just positive thinking. You need to change your thoughts. I do
really
a personalized, so it'd be designed for just you.
Yeah, because we do have some bad hombres out there, literally hombres. The MS-13, for instance. We need to turn their mind the other direction. Like, they're evil, and we maybe just need to get them out of the country. I don't think we're going to change their hearts, but you know what? Through prayer, I think we can. Through meditation, through doing something about it. For instance, the Catch the Wave of Hope is doing such a good job at helping to stamp out sex trafficking, human sex trafficking. And there is some positive rearrangement of your thinking pattern, because those poor girls and boys who get swept up in that are led to believe that they're not worth anything. And Jay Sharp is a beautiful woman who did a nice talk, and we are wow. You are wow. You are a woman of worth. I'm a woman of worth.
Yeah.
So thanks, Jay, for that. She gave me a new meaning to wow. And we always need to reinforce each other. And I think as women, I want us to lift each other up.
Absolutely.
And I said this before, the Me Too movement, the stamping out sex trafficking, we need to link arms around the world, because together we can, just like you said.
Yeah.
Your goal is to collaborate with local businesses in the community and bringing these skills and knowledge to the Treasure Coast, because together we can.
Together we can, and it definitely is a team effort. I think if we join together, we can change. We can change, but it does start with loving ourselves first. I do believe that is the key. Is love, like you said, love is the answer. You have to begin with really loving who you are and being kind to yourself. So that's critical, and it goes into the biological part of it too. I think I talked about that with the cells. But remember, as her mom said, that you are what you eat. So that's another thing that you have to be mindful of.
Yes.
If you're feeding your body
Garbage in,
your body's
garbage
always
out.
listening. Exactly.
Right. So we need to be kind to ourselves in what we ingest. What are some things that you tell your students?
Well, we're about 76% water. So I think that's the critical thing, is to always hydrate. I've been doing a lot of research on pH. So if you have a pH level of a 7.4 or lower, guess what? You can't get cancer.
Oh, how do we get that? How do we do that? What does that mean?
Right. Yeah, I know.
What's
how?
The pH 7.4, drinking lots of water?
Oh, that's part of it. But there are foods that you can eat.
Okay, well, blueberries.
Blueberries, potatoes. There's a whole list of foods that you can eat.
Chia seeds and flax seeds,
yeah,
right?
I did put it on my Facebook page, because we just did a group. So it's on my Facebook page. But there, literally, you could test your pH level. So how do you test your pH? That's another question,
Yeah, how do you
right?
do that?
You do have to do a urine. There's a strip, but I have those, and we're doing it with a group right now. It's really easy. I was going to bring you one, actually.
Right before the show, pee on this.
But hey, it's great, because I did have somebody who had cancer whose pH was high.
Oh, and did she get it lower? And then,
so she's like, what do I do?
Okay.
She's like, I'm a cancer survivor, And I said, well, she's like, can I change it? And what do you think the answer is?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes,
course, yes.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
know, it is
definitely.
mind over matter.
It is.
And I have a friend who beat his cancer for years and years, and he finally did succumb. But the doctors told him he had 6 months to live, and he lived for another 10, 12 years because he changed his whole system and pattern and way of doing things. And it takes, what do they say, 7 something to change a habit, or 15 minutes every day, or whatever. I don't know. I forget all the terminology.
Don't
But
know that,
you
but-
can change a habit. And once you do, you've got a new habit.
Right.
So, you know, he started eating correctly, meaning grains, plant-based, right?
You are what you eat.
And you are what you eat. And
So-
so without all those things in the meat and the chicken, and even fish can, you know, with our waters sometimes
definitely.
can be.
The Plastic Ocean. I don't know if anybody's watched that, but it talked
Ah.
about the Plastic Ocean is a great movie about the environment. It talks about all the plastic in the water, and what happens is you really can't see the plastic. If you go out on the boat, you're like, oh, it's beautiful out here, Bahamas, wherever you are, but there are little granules of water or plastic within that. And then guess what happens? What do the fish eat?
Yeah.
They open their mouth, and then what do we eat out of the fish?
Yeah,
The protein,
I
right?
know.
So
The
what gets
fu-
into
the
our
food
body?
chain, the
It
food
does,
chain.
absolutely. So
So we need to take better care of our world.
we do. Well, really, it always starts with yourself.
Yes.
Whether you're a child, you're a teen, it starts with yourself. And then together, if we collaborate, then we could help, like you said, when you unite, even the prayer for your mom today, you could feel it, couldn't you? You couldn't feel it. There is energy out there, and it's positive. So
And she could feel it
it's
too.
really
She
powerful.
thanks everybody for
Isn't that
praying for her on
wonderful?
Facebook.
I think that's just like
Cousins,
you could feel it when
friends,
you're together.
other family members chimed in. Then people were
Mm-hmm.
texting me, and it was a human heart bonded together to help her with her heart. And the doctor did a good job too.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Reardon in Houston. And so for everybody tuning in just now, my mom made it through her procedure, her TAVR, the TAVR, and I'm going to go see her starting tomorrow night. Well, I'll see her Friday morning, but I'm leaving to go. And if you just joined us, this is Candy McCoy, and she has the Healing House, which is a Facebook page as well as a real place at the Dirty Hippie. It's the yoga
Upstairs,
loft.
yeah.
The yoga
Yeah.
loft.
And if you're looking to meditate, or you know what, I'm almost thinking meditation is a little intimidating for people, but just breathing, believe it or not,
Right.
I will help you become mindful with breathing, and breathing will help bring coherence to your body, which means that not only your mind, it helps you focus, it helps you reduce anxiety, and then it helps your heart and all your organs. So who doesn't want that, right?
Absolutely.
I
I mean, if we could all be a little healthier, the world would be a healthier place. And that's one of the things that I loved about Healthy Start Coalition. It starts with the babies. And if you can get the moms and the dads to understand what to do with that little infant before it's even here, you know, to have a healthy baby grows into a healthy child. You have less disease, less doctor visits. You have a mentally well and emotionally well child. And keep them away from the video games, please.
yeah.
That's one thing Deborah Melillo said. She hoped that, you know, she was glad we spoke about the video games because that really is a violent act on your brain.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a connection between what they're watching and then what they do when they
Right.
go out into the real world. It's like, oh, I just killed people, and there's not really that empathy.
There's no,
that-
and there's no consequence.
yeah.
You know, they used to say that about Wile E. Coyote and Bugs Bunny, that, you know, the kids would be damaged by that because the anvil would fall and he always got up and ran away. But there was something different and more innocent about that. And the Three Stooges, of course. Meow, meow, meow. But I want to say happy birthday to Roxy Brown. Her birthday was the other day. She is talking about the homelessness, and they suffer. And then there's not enough assistance for them. So we're reaching out across the world to everyone to lift us all up. And positive thinking is one way to lift yourself up out of poverty. People have done it, and out of homelessness, but
Yeah.
with assistance around in our community, to know you can do this. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard, but you can do it. You can change your brain.
You can change your brain, and it's not just positive thinking. It's actually becoming self-regulated strategies. So you have to be know when to implement it. It's like emotionally prepared. You know that stress is going to happen. Like,
So
no,
talk
you
about
don't-
how do you deal with stress when it hits you in the face?
Okay, because it could go from a 0 to a 10.
Yeah.
We've all had that.
Yeah, like
right?
today.
Yeah. You're like, everything is, your world is fine, and then 2 minutes. Yeah, I have it. I mean, I run a healing house. You would think, oh, everybody thinks I'm peace and happy, but it happens to me. My son graduated last night.
Oh,
from Martin County High
congratulations!
School.
Martin County
Yes.
High. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
graduation time.
Awesome. So,
Oh, my goodness,
But
that's
I came
wonderful.
home, and he was misbehaving at the house, and
Ah.
so Candy went from a 0 to a 9.9. But anyhow,
Well, having
prior
a,
school,
having a high
so.
schooler is enough stress already.
Exactly.
I would say that's.
I have 3 children, but
Oh my gosh.
So self-regulated strategies. I knew that I could start yelling at him right away. The biggest thing is, I'm telling you, this breath is just being mindful and knowing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to teach people. Is when they come across it. It's just like anything. When you're getting into a car accident, you kind of know what before you try to think of strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So when you become stressed, it's knowing what to do when you're feeling that. You feel
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You feel your heart. Okay, what do I do? So it's these self-regulated strategies. So
And
just
what are
begin.
some of those? The
biggest
breathing.
thing is the breath. I'll tell
Okay.
you what. If you are stressed out, or if you come into a situation, you can do. I'm forgetting the term, but let me get my notes here real quickly. But this is the biggest thing you can do here is diaphragmatic breathing.
Oh, okay.
It's so easy, and it will calm you down. So when we are under a lot of stress, our heart increases, our heart rate increases, our focus, we're out of focus.
Yes.
We're in almost like the high zone of like we can't even make decisions. So come back to your breath right away. Just a nice deep breath like we did. Yes. Absolutely, and come back, and you will be able just to kind of rethink and refocus your decisions. I would say that's the number one strategy you can do when you come across stress.
It does bring calmness to your brain because our brains need oxygen,
Absolutely.
and that's what they feed on is oxygen. So you can't let them feed on the monkey mind chatter. I can remember a dear friend of mine, Betty Baxter, Catherine Aristoff's mom. She's a life coach, and I was her first guinea pig. And she's the one who taught me that term. And because I was getting my real estate license here in Florida, and she said, you're going to do this. You are doing it. Don't think you can't. You can, and you will. So I think Henry Ford even said that. If you think
Walt
you
Disney,
can, you
right?
can. Walt Disney, or was it Walt?
No,
him?
Henry Ford did.
Henry
but,
Ford?
If
Yeah.
you dream it, you could do it.
Right. If you
so.
think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about positive thinking and imaging and creating those positive thoughts and retraining our brain. Let's retrain the world's brain. Let's do it, Candy.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm up for the
Okay.
challenge.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. I mean, it starts with myself, and it's a daily discipline to be
right.
true.
Right.
And
And what
then-
are some other things?
Other things you can do. Another thing I would teach is not only the breath would be the first thing I would teach, and then we would look at the patterns of your thoughts. So what are you telling yourself unconsciously? Like a lot of people, again, are telling themselves that, I'll never find love again, or I'm not good enough. So if you might be smiling and happy in the daytime, but in your thoughts, you're thinking you're not good enough. So it's really examining what you're feeding, not only your mental state, but your cells. Your cells are listening all the time. They have a cell membrane, and they are listening. And this is a great book, The Biology of Belief.
Okay. The Biology of Belief.
Yes, it's by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and it talks about how we used to think that our genes, my mom had cancer or I will have cancer.
Okay.
This is no longer based on science now. Your cells, you can rechange your body. I mean, we've talked about it already with Dr. Joe Dispenza. So you just have to believe it. You have to really focus on that thought, change that energy, change that neural pathway in your brain. It's extremely powerful. But the idea is doing it consistently. Each day, because again, that 50 to 70,000 thoughts that we think, it's hard. I'm a mom. I have I have a
Yeah, how
job,
many
you
kids?
know.
How many? How
I
old
do
are
have
they?
3 children. Yeah.
Good
So
Lord.
I
And you're from here originally, right?
No, I'm
Nope.
from Buffalo, New
Buffalo,
York.
that's
so,
right.
Hey, Buffalo.
I forgot.
My Buffalo new friends. So
Right
yeah.
before they invented the ice cube.
I know. It's like the rainy. It's gray there every day.
Now, Deborah Melillo has said, and you're welcome, Roxy. And Deborah Melillo has posted a video, and she says, you can laugh at me, but this Elmo video is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So what's the Elmo video?
It's
Do you know what it is?
I'm pretty sure it's about the breath. Yeah.
Oh,
breathing.
about the breath.
Yeah. So Elmo
Breathing.
teaches breathing to the kids.
Elmo. Oh, Elmo.
Yeah, Elmo.
The red furry
yeah,
Elmo.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So just think, if we teach children
Yes.
how to slow down,
Right.
that's what it is.
It is slowing down.
If
We're in
we
a
teach them
fast-paced
how to slow
social
down,
media world.
then we're going to change the world. We're
Mm-hmm.
really going to change it, because right now everybody's going so fast. And so if we start at a young age and teach them, and the Healing House, we're going to try to, we're raising money to become
Ooh, yes. You got to talk about that real quickly. You have a couple of events coming up. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about your events. And, of course, you can go to the Healing House web page, the Facebook page.
yeah.
And
We have a website too.
and
so
you are 5013B.
C.
C, you are C? Oh, you
We
need to change
are-
that.
Oh,
5013C.
we are a C. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I didn't know what a B is, but I know what a C is.
That's a typo. I do
Okay,
lots of that.
that's right. And so your aim is to teach children, teens, and adults these tools that can
Yeah.
enhance all aspects of their daily lives. And once we do that, we're just a better world, a better community to start with. And it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And if one person in the family learns to do this, you can teach your other family members. And certainly, calmness is important
It's
in wellness.
Oh, it is.
And,
It's so
and we're
important.
back to that whole thing. It's mental wellness is a part of our physical life as well.
It goes hand in hand. We have to look at the whole person, the whole child. And if you're interested in this, we're talking about some events. So we do yoga every Thursday night at 7:30, and then we also have meditation. We're doing an integrated healing class, which integrated healing.
Uh-huh.
I told you a little bit about it
Yes.
before the session, but basically it taps into your cellular memory. So your cells, we have about I think 30 to 40 billion cells in our trillion cells.
Wow,
sorry,
trillion.
cells.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
30 to 40 trillion cells, and we have 100 billion neurons.
Wow.
So, but the cells, basically, what we do with the integrated therapy is we just touch lightly, and it allows your cells to kind of open up and release. Because whether it's in the womb or when you're a young child, if you have any emotional issues, it just allows you. Maybe even a car accident, things that
Wow.
you
Yeah.
forget about, and
Yeah.
you're holding that in. They remember everything. Your
You're
cells are
right.
very, very smart.
You're so right. My sister had a Jeep accident in college, my oldest sister. Do you know now she has awful spinal problems and neck problems, and she just had surgery, and it didn't really help. Huh?
Were you driving?
No, I was not driving. Goodness gracious, Richard. She was in Lynchburg, Virginia at Sweetbriar, and she had a rollover, and we're lucky she lived and was alive to tell us about it. But that is a sense of memory in her body that came back to haunt her years later. She's in her
Yeah,
60s.
You don't think about it, and then your cells are constantly
They
they're
know.
in there. They do.
Right,
They remember
right,
everything.
right.
So we also are doing a lot of different events. I know we don't have that much time.
Well,
but
tell them July.
July we're doing a vegetable. If you let's say you want to grow, kale. So we have Sam Whittle. He's going to be doing a class on how to just grow local vegetables for you.
Cool.
And, yeah, it's going to be
cool.
awesome. Or kombucha, we're going to do that. We have also a family yoga class in July.
Okay, and we have 1 minute left. So go to Candy's Facebook page, The Healing House, and check it out. And go take some yoga, practice your breathing,
Yeah.
spread the love, #try kindness, smile, and love everybody.
I believe in that. Love is
Love-
always the answer.
love yourself, love your neighbor, do what God says. The 10 Commandments,
thing.
you'll be fine. And Mama, I love you. And Jenny in Cuba, adios, Jenny. And I'll be back after the summer. Everybody have a good Memorial Day and a good summer. Thank you, Frank Mezapel, my engineer, my husband, Richard,
You're very welcome.
all my listeners, my sponsors, out there on the radio, on Facebook. This will be a podcast at themartincountydifference.com and on YouTube. Check out the show, like the page, share it. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank
Have
you.
a great summer.
Bye.
Bye-bye.